welcome to Heroes Diary.
Just go ahead and do it, like literally.
Hello, brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers, uncle and aunties, niece and nephews, grandpa, grandma, baby, toddlers, he, she, they, them, everybody. Welcome to HD. Of course you're watching in high definition, but you know that's not what this is. This is Heroes Diary, the show that celebrates the Black hero's success journey. As always, my name is Keni Ogunlola. And hey, what have we got in here today? Come on, man, we're going to go straight to it. You know, like we say on Heroes Diary, we tend to celebrate hero's journey. And sometimes you think of heroes and you're thinking, oh, there's got to be someone who's been there for like 30, 40, 50, 120 years and stuff like that. But no, sometimes it's someone who's been there a bit shorter than that, but who's made so much impact that it's worth talking about their journey and then tracking how much they've come and more importantly, where they are going. And you know what's even more funny? What's funnier today? So I've talked to a few people and gone like, oh, the guest tonight, da 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 da. And they go like, who's the guest tonight? And they go like, Henrie. Oh, what? Footballer? No. Not there yet. We're not there yet. We're trying. We're going to get there, but we're not there yet. And they go, oh, okay, so when is he coming or where's he from? Actually, it's DJ. He's a DJ. Oh, no, DJ Henrie. And they go like, DJ Henrie? Like, so when is he coming? Is it tonight or what? I was like, no, it's actually not him. God, it's DJ Henrie.
I love content, so I didn't really want to like let one go. I love presenting, but I just decided that I love music, I love DJing. By God's grace, I just want to do it all at once.
I don't give a damn.
What's the best sex I had? Oh no! I hate their little eyes like, Thank you. Love you very much.
379.
What's 379?
Call me anytime.
Go away.
You know when people ask what you bring to the table? Like, now the table.
You are the table.
Yeah, silverware, everything.
DJ Henrie, what's up, girl?
I get that quite a lot. Hi.
Yeah? Oh my God. Tell us, why do you get that? Why do you tend to get that?
It's always because, oh my gosh, what, your name is Henrie and you're a girl. And I'm like, yeah, do you know what? It's just my dad. What am I going to do about it? He's also called Henrie. And he named me after himself. He said he doesn't care what I come out as, that I must be named after him. So here I am.
So he had the name before the baby?
Yeah, so he's a Y and I'm an IE.
IE?
Yeah.
Do you think that differentiates it for you? Makes you...
Not really, because if he's saying Junior, then I know he's talking to it's definitely me.
Oh my God. Welcome, Henrie. Welcome to Heroes Diary. We're so glad to have you on here today, man.
Thank you for having me.
So welcome. And so Henrie's a DJ, podcaster, broadcaster, host, superstar, whatever you want to call it, man. Like too many hats in one. How you juggle all that things together, girl?
It's a bit hard, especially as like life becomes a bit more busy. But at first I was like, I just like doing all of these things. I love presenting, I love DJing, I love music, I love content. So I didn't really want to like let one go. So I just decided that, by God's grace, I just want to do it all at once, and that's kind of what I'm doing now.
Yeah, because I remember when we spoke and I called you DJ Henrie, and you said you actually prefer just being Henrie.
Yeah.
What's up? You want to throw away the DJ?
Yeah, only because if I say that I'm DJ Henrie, then I'll only ever be known as a DJ, whereas the first thing I started doing in the first place was presenting. So I see myself as a presenter first anyway. Yeah. But it just so happens that I present in the music industry. I love music. I love all types of music. So being able to DJ is like a really incredible bonus for me, but I don't want it to be like the box of, oh my gosh, she just DJs. No, I do like, I do a lot more. So yeah.
Nice. I mean, we're going to come back to the DJ thing because it's quite interesting. I mean, it's a really interesting thing to talk about. But I mean, what was your day like today? What happened today?
Today was actually a pretty easy day, to be fair. So
Your day is normally easy?
No. This is like one of 2 days I've had off in like, and it's not even an off day because I'm still doing something. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But this is one of the like easiest days I've had in a good couple of weeks. So today I had a driving lesson, which was actually quite stressful in itself.
Driving lesson?
Yeah, driving lesson. So I don't know how to drive. Big girl, can't drive. I know. Do you know what? I've been giving myself the excuse that being in London, you don't really know how to drive. Yeah. But really, obviously until my lessons are over, it's safer for everybody else that I don't drive.
Wow. So how have you been going around? You've been extremely busy. You've been on BT Sports, presenting on BT Sports. You've presented the Mobos. You're on Keys. You're doing all these gigs and stuff left, right, and center. Yeah. And you don't drive? We don't actually need to, well, with the work that I do anyway, unless I'm going like a really far distance, I don't actually have to drive myself. But outside of that, obviously I realized that, I'd like to have it as a skill. What if the apocalypse happens tomorrow and you need to take someone's car? Like, what are you going to do? So I want to learn how to drive just for life anyway. Oh, good. So you just started learning now. How's
I've
it
only
going
just
with the
started.
driving then? Yeah.
I want to shout out my instructor. He's incredible.
Okay.
I scream every single time. Like I get nervous in the car.
Was it private instructor or was it like AA?
Oh, no, not private. He's just someone, literally just found him online and was just like, this guy seems cool. Met him in real life and I was like, this seems like a great thing to be able to do. Yeah. And he speaks to me in a language that I understand because he's young and black.
What language is that? What kind of language is that?
How can I describe it? So when he answers his phone, he's like, yo, what are you telling me? Ooh. And I'm like, that is a person that I can get along. That's someone I can get along with.
Kind of guy.
Do you get it? Like I can understand you and I know that you understand me when I speak. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So that kind of thing I find, incredible. So by God's grace, we pass because I need this.
Oh, you passed? Oh,
no, by God's grace, I will pass.
You will pass?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
yeah.
So when's your driving test?
What?
When is the driving test?
So it's happening soon, but I feel like we're not really meant to say when our driving test is happening.
Oh, whoa.
Isn't that a thing? The same way you don't tell people like when the baby's due. You don't tell people when you're doing your driving test. Yeah.
Why? So you don't jinx it?
I don't believe in jinxing because how can you jinx God? Do you know what I'm saying? However, it's just like a thing. But it's happening soon, like in a couple of months. Yeah.
Months?
Yeah.
What?
You like 2 months?
You have to take that much lessons?
Yes, I'm like, it's actually quite scary when I'm on the road.
How many driving tests do you reckon you're going to have?
One, by God's grace and mercy. Hello. I don't want to be one of those people that's going back like 5 times, but if it happens, then...
I had three driving lessons before I passed mine.
Fairs.
And I used to drive in Nigeria before I...
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you're starting afresh.
Yeah.
And I know people who've been 9, 10, 11 times before they eventually pass it.
11, you know.
Yeah.
That can't be my story. I'm so sorry.
No, it won't be. I'm sure you pass it one time. Just take your time and you got this
Do you know what I mean?
really cool driving instructor. I'm sure it should be all right. Yeah.
I pray so, honestly.
Oh, brilliant, man. All right, cool. Let's come to you, man. Like DJing, hosting, podcasting.
Yes.
Listen, I've watched your stuff on Keys and you've had so many people. It's feeling to me now that you're actually the one like having me on your show. I feel like I'm on your show right now.
Stop.
You know, like what's good, man? Like tell me about your show. You've had so many. I mean, I've seen some of it and so many interesting people on there, man. It must be really great meeting all these great personalities.
Do you know what? Yeah, like I really had a good time and I just thank God for like the timing of having like my Kiss show, because before my Kiss show I was doing a podcast called Who We Be Talks, which it was a flagship podcast for Spotify, which means that literally Spotify made the show, and then Spotify were like, okay, cool, who can we get to host this show? And so they asked me to do it, and then
who's the special person we're going to get to host this?
Who, me?
No, who's the special? Don't look at someone special.
No, do you know what? Yeah,
and you have to go for the special person.
No, do you know what it is? Like I was just like, basically starting my career. I couldn't actually believe I was chosen because the guy that was doing it alongside me, called Henrie, he had been not presenting, to be fair, but he had been a personality for quite a while, so he was already like a big name. And so them choosing me as well, it made me feel really like confident in my abilities to be able to do something like that. Why do you think
you were chosen at such early stage by Spotify?
Honestly, like I think it's God is number one, but number two, I think that it's obviously incredible that Spotify themselves are or word, like, do you know what I mean? Trying to shine a light on up and coming presenters. And I think that kind of made me almost like a homegrown kind of name-ish within the industry. So like, yeah, that was a lot of fun to do. And within that, our job literally weekly was to talk to someone huge. So it couldn't even be like a random person.
Yeah.
It was always somebody big every week.
Wow.
So you always had to get like your head in the game. You always had to know what you're talking about. You always have to be ready for conversation. And so it taught me a lot for when eventually my Kiss show came around. And so in doing that, obviously I'm doing it by myself and still speaking to big people. But I guess being able to do the Spotify first.
Before we get onto the Kiss show, so on the Spotify show, tell us about some of these big people and especially the experience, and how did you feel when you know that, okay, X is coming on, and how was that experience?
Okay, so it felt like surreal doing it, but we would record 52 weeks in a year pretty much, unless like you've got a holiday or other work to do. Like we'd literally be there like every single week. So it became normal. And so that's how like I stopped myself too much from having like pinch me moments, like, oh my gosh, this person's coming in, I can't like breathe, which I've had to stop doing, because you realize that everyone is a human being. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's a human being, same way you're a human being. And so like doing it often like helped me quite a lot, even though sometimes I still have a wobble, but I'm a lot better in that. And so like in terms of what kind of guest, like one of my standouts had to have been Idris Elba. He was incredible to talk to. He's also from Sierra Leone, like just realizing that he's also human, even though his voice is just as deep in real life. Like he was great. Ian Wright was incredible. Ian Wright is one of my faves because in real life he's also really easy to speak to.
Idol,
like he, even as he sees me, he'll be like, yeah, yo H. So it's less of idol, more of, oh my gosh, this is just a guy that I know now. Do you know what I mean? Or someone that I'll see outside.
Like your instructor.
Well, if I see him outside, we'll both smile at each other, do you know what I mean? Have a conversation and stuff like that is cool, because again, it removes all of like the idea of like someone's too famous or someone's too this or something, and then you just see them as a human being.
Oh no, that's great. That's like super amazing people. You've been on to, man. And
it was a lot of fun.
So you are Henrie. Is it Henrie?
Henry. Yeah, like Henry VIII.
Henry.
Yeah.
It's very like normal Henry.
Yeah, Henry.
So Henrie Atinuke.
Yeah, Kwushue.
Kwushue.
Yeah.
Kwushue. So where's that from, really?
So my dad is Delta Igbo. He has told me the name of the specific like town area that he grew up in, but I forgot.
I forgot. Remember that.
However, like that being said, like even though I am Nigerian and Sierra Leonean, I identify just as being Yoruba, being firstborn generation British here, because that's all I ever like learned. That's how I grew up. Those are the people that are around me. So I think I understand the language to about like 80-90%.
So your mom's Sierra Leonean?
Yes.
How did she end up in Nigeria?
So with both my parents, they're trilingual, which I think is insane. Like, you know, like when you think of the idea of trilingual, sometimes, or being a polyglot.
Trilingual?
Yeah, or being a polyglot where you understand 2 or more languages, I think it is.
Yeah.
Like people only ever think of like European languages or like all the languages outside of Africa.
Yeah.
But I've just like recently, in the last couple of years, just like discovered how incredible it is that my parents not only like learning English as well as their native languages, also learning Yoruba on top of it. Do you know what I mean? Not easy. So my mum, is from Sierra Leone, and she went to boarding school in Lagos, and from the stories that I hear from my granddad, or heard from my granddad, she really loved it there. So she'd like always take like trips to Lagos.
So did your grandparent move to Nigeria?
No, I don't think they ever did. But I think my mum, because she went to boarding school and she loved it in Lagos.
She went looking for your dad in Nigeria?
They must have met in the clubs. Something like that. And then my dad left home at like 18, and then he went to live in Lagos. And I think that's how they both learned the language.
Wow. Okay. And then so because I was wondering how the Yoruba, because you got Atinuke in your name.
Yeah.
So did you was that an adopted name, or because Atinuke is Yoruba?
It is Yoruba.
Yeah.
So it wasn't adopted. As I was born, I've got like 5 middle names anyway. So I've got Isioma, which is my Igbo middle name, and Atinuke, which is like the first Yoruba name that I actually go by anyway. So like as well as their own cultures, they've also adopted Yoruba culture as well. So I think it's really interesting, even in real life, seeing my dad talk to someone that's Igbo literally for a straight half hour hour, and then literally straight after that, somebody else that's Yoruba will come in, and then he's having a whole other conversation. And then somebody else, like if he was ever to speak to my mum's sister, so my aunt, who is very, very Salone, like he will like adopt almost like pidgin / Creole to kind of communicate with her. So I think it's just really interesting how they're like just able to move through different cultures just like that. Do you know what I mean? I love that.
They've adopted Yoruba and then Igbo.
Yeah.
The Igbo language in
Yeah,
Nigeria
on my
as well.
dad's side, yeah.
On your dad's side.
Yeah.
But how many of these languages do you speak?
Mine is only the language that neither of my parents are, which is Yoruba. Like neither of my parents come from that tribe, but...
Well, you speak Yoruba?
If forced to.
Oh my Yoruba. Oh yeah, Yoruba. Oh yeah, Yoruba.
I can understand everything that you're saying. You're saying yes, I can completely. I can't because people have made fun of me. You don't understand. You know, like when you
try something, man.
Let me say my trauma, okay? Because this is what a lot of us, I think, kind of go through, where you'll be young and then you'll be like speaking to like aunties and uncles and all of these guys who are calling from Nigeria because there's a calling card involved, right? And then they'll be saying stuff to you in Yoruba and they'll be like, yeah, reply back in Yoruba only. And then I'll try and then they'll start laughing from how many hundred of miles away. Do you know, I'm like, yeah, mum, take the phone. I'm tired of this. I've tried.
So when that put you up?
Oh, you don't even understand. And I think that that's the reason why my voice is so British. Because I realized that even compared to other British Nigerians who are first generation, exactly like me, I am very aware that sometimes they might not even sound alike. Do you know what I mean? Some of them, not all of them, some sound exactly like me. But I see that difference, and I think it's because they laughed at me that the British accent just got even more and more strong. So if I tried to, I think I would sound silly. I want to try.
Can you speak something though?
Okay, cool.
Either Yoruba or Igbo, just some Nigerian language.
Okay. Mobo Yoruba.
Okay, that's not bad.
Shibon miole sodada.
Yeah, you're trying.
Okay.
You're trying. But you speak Pidgin English now.
Do you know what? I don't understand Pidgin, but that's also because I don't understand Creole. So even though I know that they're not the same, I know. I've been here and I've been actually seeing everybody like speak Pidgin to each other, and I'm like, bro, I don't understand what's going on. Do you know how crazy that is?
Oh boy.
Right? You'd think that it'd be mad easy to pick up, but no, it's not.
Well, not just English now.
Yeah, okay, cool. I can understand that, but I've heard people speak it like proper deep. Like I don't actually know what you're saying here, babe.
So if I relate it to you on a one-on-one level, you're not going to feel it at the talk.
Okay, I understand that. Okay, maybe I do understand it. Maybe I do get it.
Of course you do. But no, listen. From what I've gathered, you spent quite some time with Dad, and do you think there's been as much influence, because Dad being a DJ, has that influenced you into that journey to becoming a DJ as well? Yeah,
do you know what? Absolutely. I think the fact that my dad loved music so much when I was growing up meant that I too like love music. Like I've got so many there's so much music from my dad that I'm so appreciative to know today. So like, you know, like Lagbaja has Kunku Bilunku. That's, for me anyway, that's a song that all of us, if you're Nigerian and Yoruba, should kind of know. But there's another song by Lagbaja and he sang it with one girl and I forgot her name. I can't remember her name. Same. I think I know. But it goes, wherever I go, wherever you are. And I said, who is this lady? Because she sounds like Whitney Houston to me. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So my dad, being a DJ, he introduced me to so much music, so much Nigerian music, so many Nigerian artists, things that I don't think I would have even been aware of if it wasn't for him. Yeah. And even with that being said, like American music, because at the time it was Get Rich or Die Trying. So I was like all into like 50 Cent, Lil' Kim, like all them back in the day. Yeah. That all came from my dad. Do you know what I mean? And as he was like DJing, like going out to the club to DJ as well, I used to be like, yeah, Dad, I want to come with you. And he used to be like, no, you can't come because there's like boogeymen outside in the club. But I don't know, like, him loving it so much and having so many CDs at home made me, definitely had an impact on my love for music as well and wanting to DJ. So you listened to all that. Did that make you feel cool to your friends? Did they feel like you got a DJ dad? Do you know what? Who's like blasting to all this crowd and doing all this stuff? It's interesting. I actually never spoke about my dad being a DJ because I don't know. At the time, it never felt like, oh my gosh, guess what, guys? Because now you see, like in today's day and age, where you are a creative, and from people hear the word creative, they can almost kind of tell what you do. Yeah. Back then, that word never existed. So my dad was a creative back then, but I wouldn't have even known how to explain that to my friends for them to even think, oh my days, your dad is so cool. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So
But as a young girl, does that make you feel cool seeing dad playing to all this crowd and doing all this kind of stuff?
I think my biggest thing at the time was my dad's DJ name was Double H, which stood for Henrie and Henrie. So he's Henrie with a Y, I'm Henrie with an IE. And that to me was one of the coolest things. I was like, yeah, dad, you love me. Kind of, do you know what I mean? It was very cool to be able to be a part of his journey in that way. And because we always used to ride in the car together all the time when I was really little. His love of music and the things that he would play definitely influenced my love of music as well.
Daddy's girl, do you feel you're closer to?
Yes, in a way. We've got a lot of the same influences, as in musically and the kind of things we like. And he's quite a creative brain, and he loves thinking outside the box even till this day. But obviously, I grew up with my mum, so a lot of the things that I have. She too, she also has a lot of Nigerian, Yoruba, cultural, traditional, influence. Do you know what I mean, around her? Yeah. So that's kind of how I was that's how I grew up anyway.
How did that feel when you was going to go into music?
Oh, he loved it. He loved even till this day, he's always sending me things that I could do. Have you tried this? Have you tried streaming this? Have you tried YouTube? Have you heard of this? Have you heard of that? I know that there's not that many parents that would encourage it right off the bat, but my dad is definitely one of them.
So getting into DJing as a young girl, young black girl, and all that, how daunting did that sound? It's a male-dominated industry, just men and not even boys, men doing this kind of thing. Yeah. Did you think you had a chance at all?
When I first wanted to start DJing, I didn't think of my race, my gender. I didn't think of anything. I just loved music, so it just felt natural for me to want to get into it. Even though, as I think back now, it was a man that taught me how to DJ, but. I didn't think of that, and I think that's what allowed me to love it even more. Obviously, as you continue on in the career, you see some of the setbacks. Yeah. But getting into it, I was definitely wide-eyed and hopeful and having that faith that things will work out, or at least I come out with a nice hobby. Do you know what I mean? Wanting to learn more about music. So I didn't really think about it too tough in the beginning. Yeah.
Okay, so how did you learn the dynamics of it? Because DJing for me, I know music, I love music, but I look at what you DJs do sometimes, from turning in, from queuing in the songs, from learning the basics, It just seems like so much. Do you have to go to school to learn to be a DJ?
Do you know what? There are actually some tutors and lessons available, but I was taught by somebody. Yes, I was taught by somebody one-to-one. Yeah. However, once you get the basics and the basics of it, it is easy to be able to go from there and therefore learn your own style, learn DJ with whatever kind of music you want to do. And the one thing that I've learned from DJing is that to be a good DJ, you have to know your music. Do you know what I mean? So if I was given somebody else's USB or somebody else's laptop, there's nothing to say that I'd give off a good set, because that person with that USB or laptop, they know what's on there. They know what they can bring out. They know what they can put together. Yeah. Whereas me, that's what I'd have to do for my own music. And that's what makes each DJ their own special kind of DJ, because they know where they fit, what they want to do, where they want the music to go, where no other DJ can really do that specific thing that they do. So
what are those? What's that one unforgettable memory as a DJ that you've been in that you feel you will just never forget for the rest of your life? These baddest experience.
I think one of my favorite DJing experience has to be when I was in Cannes last year in France. Ooh, and that was for the Cannes Festival.
That's the Cannes Film Festival.
Cannes Film
That's
Festival.
the massive Cannes Film Festival. You was at Cannes.
It was ridiculous.
DJing at Cannes.
Yeah, it was actually ridiculous. So we just have to glorify God, because when I was there, I didn't really know what I was in for until I started DJing, and then I was hearing whispers oh my gosh, Naomi Campbell's in the back. Oops. Jared Leto is there. And obviously not to do you know what I mean, overdo it, but when you hear stuff like that, you're oh raw, this is a bit crazy, isn't it? It's a bit insane. Wow. So doing stuff like that and being able to play to that crowd and they fully and thoroughly enjoy themselves is incredible. Being on the lineup next to like, I think Dua Lipa was playing my year, Kendrick Lamar and Post Malone.
Wow.
They were all playing my year. So literally the big screen would go from me straight to them. And Cape Trinada, like, honestly, one of the best things I've done in a while. And DJing felt like my full-time job anyway when I was there, because I was there for like a week and a half to like 2 weeks. So it literally meant I'd wake up, DJ, go to bed, wake up, DJ, go to bed. So it felt like, do you know what I mean? Like work, just on a beach.
What was the reception that seeing a female black DJ? Was there any reception towards that, or was it just normal?
I don't think that anybody like said, oh wow, you're a black female DJ, like you're cool. I think people loved like the music that they were hearing at the time, which is what I loved, because I got to be a bit more experimental, a bit more like, a bit more experimental, the music that I play, which is what I like doing anyway. Because again, thanks to my dad, growing up, I listened to so much different types of music that I was still able to bring, for example, like an Afro vibe, which I played for a lot of the time, to house, to amapiano, to all sorts, you know what I mean? So, and they enjoyed it like the whole way through, which is what I enjoyed it.
So when you have to DJ and there's a crowd, you have to research your crowd, you have to know who they are, what kind of music they might like, you have to do all that kind of background stuff.
I think that I don't like get like a demographic pull up of who's going to be there, like 45-year-olds, but it's more like you can kind of tell from the event, from when you get like invited to it, what it's going to be. And sometimes it's a case of literally turning up on day one and seeing what you're going to do, and stuff like, or experiences like Cannes was kind of like that, where you kind of turn up and then you look at the crowd and it's like, all right, cool, what am I going to do? And then you go from there, because you can tell what kind of vibe each crowd, I guess, would want. Yeah.
So what was that? Tell us about that show, that particular one that they kind of didn't feel you.
What, Cannes?
No, not Cannes.
Which, tell us about an experience that they didn't feel
they didn't feel you. The crowd just went, oh, boo. Nah, not exactly boo, but they just didn't feel it as well.
That's a good question. I haven't really. I haven't had like, oh my gosh, like everyone's like, oh my gosh, what is this girl playing? Like, what is going on? I've never really had that. But when you have like people that don't really want, they don't really want to dance, obviously it makes life a little bit harder for you. Do you know what I mean? Like, no matter what you bring out, like they're a bit like, oh, don't really want to, unless you bring out like a really big song. Like, for example, when Essence was huge by Wizkid. Do you know what I mean? Once you play that, but then once I play Wizkid, then I can understand then what the crowd wants from that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
So you kind of gauge the crowd.
Yeah, you can gauge it 100%.
Okay, cool. So moving on from DJing, you've gone into like broadcasting, which is presenting, and then having your own show on Kiss.
Yes.
How's that journey been for you? Like, is it a transition, or is it still the same journey?
Podcasting to radio isn't that hard of a transition. Before I started podcasting, I was a radio presenter anyway. Yeah. So when I went to podcasting, it just meant long format instead of short format. Do you know what I mean? Because with radio, you've literally got like sometimes 10 seconds to say what you need to say, and then you need to get out of it. So it wasn't that big of a transition, especially like when it came to guests. Yeah. In podcasting with Who We Be Talks, which was the podcast that I did. We had like big guests every single week, like every week without fail. And that was a lot of fun to do. I loved speaking to people. I loved that. And I loved having a co-host as well, to be able to like go back and forth with someone for like 45 minutes about life, about random stuff.
That's amazing, isn't it? So, digging into their life, getting to know about them, getting to know what ticks, what makes them tick and stuff. So tell us about some of the massive names you've sat across and spoken to, sort of like deep into their lives. In terms of podcasting? Podcasting, yeah.
So with podcasting, some of my favourites have to have been Idris Elba was really good.
Nice.
We had My Drama and Henrie One on the same day. That was great. Okay. We had Ian Wright, who is incredible. Yeah. And we've actually had so many. We've had like everyone in the UK industry so far. Yeah. We had like Sweetie. We've had so many like. So many of these guys. Yeah, so many.
Did you ever feel intimidated? Like, was his name coming, and how am I going to do this?
Do you know what? Yeah, I try my best to not feel nerves. Like, I really try my best, because then you realise that whoever sat in front of you is a human being just
Human
like
after all,
you.
yeah.
And then you actually realize as well that if you are a little bit nervous, so are they.
So are they.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'll try my best to not get too overexcited by another human being, because we are both human. We're both experiencing this together, and this is just a conversation. So once I try to get all of that out of my mind, then things become a lot easier.
So in conversating with these people and getting to know all this stuff,
Yeah.
and then you introducing yourself. How do you even introduce yourself on your show?
Oh gosh, it's so cringe. Hi, I'm Henrie. Hey.
No, yeah.
Like, no, it'll be like, yeah, okay, cool. So if this is like Kiss Fresh,
Yeah.
but that it's never the same. So every single time someone's like, yeah, introduce yourself, I'll be like, yeah, I'm Henrie. But if like it's the actual radio in front of me, I will automatically sound different.
How do you switch into the zone?
I don't know, babe. It's the bright lights.
Yeah.
It changes everything. So if I was on Kiss, for example, it'll be like, oh, I can't even do it.
Yes, you can. This is Keys. We got lights, man.
Yeah.
How much lights do you want? Bro, we need more lights.
Just add a purple light in
No,
for
no.
branding. Do you know what I mean? It'll be like, yeah, it's Henrie on Kiss Fresh with you all the way till 9 p.m. On the show, I have got Missy Elliott coming through all the way from LA. Blah, blah. But even then, it's still a little bit different, because like being in it will always feel a lot more different. Do you know what I mean? Where the pressure is on you, where it's a bit more like, wow, you have to get this job done kind of thing. So every single time somebody like says, oh my gosh, you have to be normal Henrie to present a Henrie, I'm just like, I don't know how to make that switch without me being in the actual studio. Do you know what I mean? And then you see the red light on.
Wow. Do you get your guests, or are you told the guests is coming in, this and stuff like that?
When I used to do community radio,
Yeah.
all the hard work was on us. So we used to send out all the emails.
Yeah.
We would do, like literally, I would produce the show from top to bottom.
yeah.
Everything would be done by us. But then as I've moved into commercial radio, a lot of those things have been lifted from me,
Yeah.
because there are people that actually get paid to do that now.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
like a producer literally
Yeah.
will produce the show. And I will help with the production
So
part
they
of
just
it as
tell
well.
you, tomorrow you got
Pretty much,
Oprah
yeah.
Winfrey.
No, but literally, pretty much. It's literally like that. You'll get a call and it'll be like, yeah, you're talking to Wizkid tomorrow, or you're talking to Burna Boy tomorrow, or you're talking to, and I'll be like, I mean, okay, yes, I can do it. By God's grace and mercy, yes, we can get this done. So yeah, that's pretty much how it is.
Oh, nice. Well, how are you finding it? How are you finding that? And do you combine it with music, or are you stepping aside from DJing to kind of focus on that?
It all works together. When you like deep it, like even though you're not really doing much presenting when you're DJing, unless you're like hosting on the mic as well,
Yeah.
the fact that I love the music that I play on radio automatically means I love the music that I'm going to be DJing as well, because
Yeah.
they both coincide. And being in radio means that I always know what new music is out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then not only do I like this person's music, but I get to see their personality. And then like some moments are then like created from that. Like, for example, interviewing Coi Leray was one of my favorite things to do, because even in that, like, she is from Cape Verde, which didn't know before. So already she's a part of the diaspora. We love her already.
Yeah.
And then there's like a, Premier Girl, like how there's a version of that to Better Catch Another Flight.
Yeah.
We were able to record ourselves dancing to that in the studio.
Yeah.
And therefore I was able to show her a version of Africanness that, even though we've grown up with it and we know what that song is because we've been hearing it since we were 2 years old, she is now entering a part of that world. And so that's what I mean by literally everything kind of like goes together in one.
Yeah.
Because even though I know it wasn't from our video that people knew that song or that mashup existed, you now went to the club and then you'd hear the mix and blend of players and Premier. Do you know what I mean? That to me is just so like mind boggling. And I just love the fact that we're able to create those moments that people across the diaspora can enjoy.
Really enjoy. Wow. That sounds like a lot then. But with you've also been, and tell us about the Mobo experience and all those other hosting.
Mobos. So yeah, no, do you know what? Everything and anything to do with the Mobos, I have been excited about since I was young. To be nominated for a Mobo Award twice is incredible. And I think one year I did the presentation for the actual like nominees for the year, and then I had to actually read out my own name in that. That was an incredible experience as well.
That was good. Yeah,
that was a lot
I
of
can
fun.
imagine. And obviously it's for Black people of Black origins and stuff.
Of course.
What's your take on that in terms of like success and success with black people at the moment?
Yeah, in terms of like the UK or
Well, not just the UK. I would say the world in general, especially the West.
Do you know what? Yeah, I think that black success is seen globally, but not necessarily by people in the UK, but like Nigerians, Africans, South Africans, literally the whole of Africa as a continent is kind of leading that.
Do you see yourself as part of the Afrobeat movement? Like, have you played a part in it?
I don't see myself as specifically a part of like the Afrobeats movement. There are definitely some presenters, some DJs who are doing what they need to do, but I love seeing what they're doing and I love supporting what they're doing as well.
Yeah, and obviously with Afrobeat music taking over the world now, and well, not taking over the world.
Oh, it is. I need you to make no mistake. Like, make no mistake. It actually is taking over the world. From like when Rema can do a headline show in India. Yeah. These are things that could have never. It would have never crossed my mind. Do you know what I mean? So like, for example, I think the first time I went to see Wizkid was like in 2018 or something. I think that might have been the first time he came over, 16. But I saw him one of the times that he came over, first or second. And that makes sense. There's a large Nigerian community in London. If he goes to Toronto, makes sense. Large Nigerian community over there. But when you are in India, when you are in Finland, places that you would have never thought. Do you know what I mean? Even though there's Nigerians in every corner of the world, where there's not like a massive, do you know what I mean, collective, I would have just never thought. So when I was in Thailand, experiencing that was crazy for me. I would have just never thought.
Why is that though? Why do you think that there's just so much acceptance for that genre of music right now?
That's a really good question. I think that people now are definitely open to way more sounds than they were before. I think that Afrobeats is easily digestible for every ear. Yeah. Which is great. And I think that people are way more open to different cultures that are different to their own, way more than ever before. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So people are way more open to listening to a song in Yoruba as they are to listening to a song in French, even if they don't understand anything, because the beat is probably what brings them in. Do you know what I mean? So I'm so happy about that. It makes me happy.
Do you love Afrobeats?
Darling, absolutely. Do you know what? It runs so deep. And again, this is to do with my dad as well. When I was young, he used to play songs like, Idris, you said you're gonna marry me. Like, do you know what I mean? Them kind of songs, that's what I grew up actually listening to. Yeah. So for the fact that it's this big now, it makes my heart smile, because I'm like, yeah, you lot are taking in, even though it sounds a little bit different, but you're taking in what I used to listen to when I was a child. Do you know what I mean? Where I tell people, oh my gosh, do you know this song? They're like, no. But now, do you know what I mean? We can relate to kind of the same things. So.
Is he at its peak now, or do you think there's still a lot to come?
Say that again?
Is he at its peak now? I mean, Afrobeats.
Oh, I think that is going to continue. Songs with, again, a good beat to it and a good sound and a good feel, people will always take it in. For example, like dancehall. Dancehall was like one of the biggest genres in the world, especially influencing America at a certain point. Yeah. And it's because the beats were always nice. It's happy music. It's music that everybody can enjoy and love. That's how you can go to Japan and see a big dancehall community over there. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I think it's gonna stand the test of time.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because tracking a few years back, it used to be dancehall and the trend was more being Caribbean or Jamaican to a large extent. Yeah. It's kind of changing. I mean, are you aware of that kind of experience? Because growing up in the UK, especially people coming in, everybody wanted to either, a black person, you either want to be Caribbean or Jamaican or, you want to kind of identify with that kind of school. Is that something you're aware of? Or because now it's kind of changing. It feels a bit proud to be African now for some reason. Yeah, no,
I've heard of it. Can I say that I was ever doing that? No. I loved being Nigerian. Yeah. However, I say it more now that I'll be like, yeah, I'm Jamaican on the weekend. But that's because when I grew up, as much as I loved Afrobeats, I also loved dancehall. Yeah. So like that deep dancehall that not a lot of people know about, that's also me in the same way as Afrobeats as well. I loved everything that was a part of the diaspora, everything that was black. Yeah. So I took literally both in at the same time. However, when I was younger, I was very much, I'm Nigerian. Right. I'm from Sierra Leone.
Which do you prefer?
Only because I know more about like, do you know what I mean? Language wise, it would have to be Yoruba. Like I understand way more about it
So you
traditionally.
prefer Nigeria to Sierra Leone?
I don't prefer one to the other. I don't. I don't think I actually can because
Have you been in Sierra Leone?
No, not yet. But I want to.
But you've been in Nigeria. You grew up.
I've been to Nigeria. It was when I was young, like over 20 years ago now. But I want to go to both. I'd love to like do like a round trip of both eventually.
Yeah. So I mean, tell us about your production company because you're getting into production now. You created production companies. And what's that all about? Where are you going with all this?
Oh my gosh. So, back in like 2020, I think I created a production company called HTK Productions, which was basically just to facilitate me putting out my own content, really. Yeah. And it started with Is Your Area Changing, which is a 3-part docuseries about gentrification, to put it bluntly, in and around the areas that I usually go to. Right. And I wasn't expecting it to do anything because it was just me, a cameraman, and my friend literally just out filming in the streets. But I don't know, God is good. During lockdown, the Londonist, which has like 1 million followers on Twitter, they reposted it and then it just started like flying everywhere. Wow. And like all of like our usual blogs, so like GRM, Link Up TV, Trench Magazine.
So what kind of content are you looking to do with the production company? Where are you going with that? Is it creating online content? Is it creating actually films and movie and cinema and theatrical stuff? I like
the ideas of docuseries. I like being a little bit tongue-in-cheek because once I say like gentrification, like I can imagine, no one said it so far, but I can imagine like eyes rolling and like, here we go again. But like that being said, when you watch the documentary, you get to like understand that I'm coming from it from like a youthful aspect.
Yeah.
Pardon?
Is it out?
Oh yeah, no, it's been out for a while. That was like one of the first things that I actually ever put out. So like I'm looking at it from like a youth perspective and a black perspective. Oh yeah, the Nigerians came over and called Peckham Little Lagos perspective. So what do they think of the gentrification if they came over back when they did? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And what do they think of Peckham? And so stuff like that makes me happy and it makes me like proud of the work, do you know what I mean, that I've been able to achieve by God's grace.
You're gonna make more documentaries, docuseries?
Do you know what? I would love to. I just need to find like another angle of what next I want to do. Do you know what I mean? I don't know about you, but it seems like there's so many things happening at once. Bro, we've had COVID. Now we're in economic crisis. Like, bro, let me just wake up and have a good day.
What's that one called? Standard of living?
Cost of living crisis. Bro, there's actually a lot going on.
There is. So, but where are you taking your career though? What's because there's been quite a few. There's the DJing, there's the podcasting, there's the broadcasting, there's host, there's the content creator. There's quite a few things for a young woman, for a young beautiful woman like yourself. But where are you taking all this? Like, what's the near future for you?
I try to not think that I'm going to take it anywhere because it means that I have my own plans and I don't actually have any plans. Everything that's like...
Do you not need to have a plan?
Personally, no, because I have faith that it will work itself out. Do you know what I mean? In God. Because I'm like, I don't want it to be my plan because if it was my plan, I don't even think I'd be here today. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And so... I don't really have any plans other than to enjoy myself. Hey, I want to be able to smile.
How much has that helped you though? Because when you listen to like success principles and success books and stories and stuff, you need to have a plan. You need to plan stuff. You need to plan 5 years, 10 years, 2 years, 3 years.
If you
but you're coming here and saying you ain't got a plan.
Do you know what? Yeah, as human, this is gonna get so. But as human beings, we are. What are we ever satisfied with? You say that, I want to reach one goal. Once you reach that goal, you're now going to set yourself another one. But with me not like setting any plans or any goals, it means that I want to be super appreciative of everything I've got as opposed to, oh my gosh, what's the next one now? What's the next one? I love the fact that I'm able to do something every single day and it's like, wow, like I can't believe that this is what I'm doing today.
I love to be open to the unexpectedness of life.
Absolutely. And I think that, if it's unexpected, then it gets, I don't know, it feels a lot better.
It feels great. It feels generic. I actually really, really, really identify with that in a way because, I mean, I speak to people and I look at stuff and I see how everyone's so caught up on the fact that you have to plan things and all that. And I feel that when when you plan things, you restrict yourself.
Yeah.
Because you can only be within that plan.
Oh, absolutely.
But when you kind of leave it open, it's a bit of a risk.
Yeah.
But then you leave yourself open to differences. Is that your thought on it?
For me, I'm just like, what is risk when there's faith? Do you know what I mean? Like, if I've got faith that it'll work out, then by God's grace, it will. No matter what it looks like, I have to be okay with it. Do you know what I mean? So I try my best not to set up like no 5-year plans. Because imagine I set up the 5-year plan now and on year 5, I haven't done it. Oh, that kind of shame. Even me, I don't want it for myself.
Yeah. and so far, you think faith has been leading you on so good?
Oh, absolutely. Like, it's been one of the biggest parts of my journey.
Have you ever been disappointed with God?
No, more disappointed with myself, if anything. I feel like...
Why is that? Do you not think that maybe sometimes you want something, why don't you just blame it on God? Why do you have to blame it on yourself?
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. That's crazy. No.
How is that even crazy?
No. How can I blame God?
What if you did what you're meant to do and it still doesn't happen?
This is really philosophical now, but if you're saying that, okay, cool, if you did what you meant to do, then that means that it's in my own eyes, I've done what I've meant to do. Doesn't mean that it's in God's eyes. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Right. So if I say to myself, oh yeah, God, well, I've done what I've meant to do, I could, like, God will turn around and be like, all right, cool. But that's in your own eyes. You set your own standards and you said that that's what you want to do and you fulfilled what you want to do. But that doesn't mean that's what God wants for my life. Do you know what I mean? So no, I can't ever like turn around and blame God for what? I can't do it, because if it's a mistake or anything, then it'll be on me. And there's nothing to say that things are a mistake as well, because God opens doors, God closes them as well. And then God can reopen another one straight after. So
Why do you have faith in God?
Because I realised that doing it my own way, I will always fall short. Do you know what I mean? As human beings, it's who we are. We fall short, we fail, but with that faith in God, it means that if I fall short, or if I don't feel great one day, or if anything ever falls through in the eyes of man anyway, because it doesn't mean it's falling through in the eyes of God, I always have something more than me to lean on, to rest on. So that's why I have that faith, because if it was me left to me on my days, I would have drowned by now. Do you know what I mean? In my own overthinking of things. So I try not to overthink. Not to say that I don't, but I try not to, and leave all the thinking to the Most High.
Are you a very sort of impulsive person, or do you have to think through, or how do you make your decisions?
That's a good question. Maybe a bit of both, but I've tried to think more now, but it's about more like, I guess, what feels right. Do you know what I mean? Whatever feels right, whatever it feels like the spirit is leading in, then that's what I'll try to do, and I'll surely see whether or not it's right or not. Do you know what I mean? So
how do you deal with mistakes then when you do stuff that you feel
that's a good question.
hasn't gone right?
Before I said, even till now, to be honest, I'm like my biggest self-critic, I think, here on earth. Like, I feel like I can come down like quite hard on myself, but like I've tried. I want to try even harder to be like, yeah, Henrie, like these are just days that people have. So you get up and you dust yourself off and then you move on.
Have you had massive failures?
No.
Have you ever failed?
Other than maybe like not getting a job, but I don't know if that's failure though, because bro, if I had that job that I thought I wanted, I wouldn't be here today. Right. Do you know what I mean? So can I actually call them failures? I don't think.
You set up to do something that did not turn out as you planned it, and as you have worked for it to turn out.
I used to want to have like 2 different types of jobs. So I wanted to be a presenter and then also work within the industry, but like in the back. So like I used to want to work as part of a music label. Yeah. And I remember like properly go into like interviews, everything, and get into like the final stages, and then not getting the job. Now, can I look back in life and call that a failure? I don't think I can. Because if that was a failure then what am I doing now? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So it can't have been a failure. It was definitely just a part of the plan.
Are you in a relationship?
No.
Have you ever been in a relationship?
Yes.
Okay. When was the last one?
Oh my gosh. Feels like a Love Island. When was the last one? That's a good question. Literally ages ago. Like years, I'm talking. Years? I'd have to like literally count it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why is that? You got married to your career?
Not at all. Nothing in particular. Like, obviously, I'm happy with life as it is. I don't feel like anything is missing. I feel like when it's right and God says it's right, it will come. I feel like that's another thing that I don't have to
You
rush
don't think you
or
need,
plan for.
you don't miss that you need an other in your life? No.
I think that obviously everyone kind of feels that way, but am I like waking up thinking, oh my gosh, I would love a man on my arm? No, absolutely not. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's cool. But you find if as long as you feel that's fine and you're okay with that and nothing's affected. And
like imagine if I'm out here forcing it. Do you know what I mean? Like that would just be the most cringe thing ever. When the things are meant to come, they will happen, and I will be happy when they do.
So what have you been doing to all the guys that's been coming? All the people that's been coming?
What have I been
Surely
doing?
there have been people
I
coming.
will smile and I'll say, good luck and God bless and you have a great day.
So you've been breaking a lot of guys' heart.
Oh, we don't know that.
A lot of people's heart.
It feels like they wake up every day fine.
You never know. They're probably not sleeping. Just thinking every day, oh my God, that Henrie girl. That kind of thing. Could be.
Well, yeah.
But nah. Well, listen. At the end of the day, it's all good if you're rolling with that and you feel good with that. So
yeah, it works.
So why not? We've talked about the future plans, and is there anything in particular that you're really looking at in future? This is what I want to be like.
I would love to. You might like think it's a boring answer, but
No,
I would love to keep presenting.
Yeah.
Like I'd love to like continue to present stuff and present big stuff, like try out live TV. I would love to do all of that. However, whatever that looks like in the future is what I'm willing to roll with. Do you know what I mean? Because if it was me, down to me, I wouldn't even be doing what I'm doing today. Do you know what I mean? So I'm kind of just like leaving it down to however God wants it to work.
Yeah.
Me too. I'm ready for that too.
Are there any particular heroes like yours, people you'd really maybe influenced you, or that you're really looking to, become like?
I don't think that there's anyone that I'd want to be like. But that's not because I don't think of anybody as great. There are some incredible presenters.
Yeah.
But I think the way that even my mind might be set up, once I start to see someone in a way that's like, whoa, then I am gonna like probably even indirectly mold myself to be them when there's only one them, and there's an incredible thing that makes them them, and there's an incredible thing that makes me me. Do you know what I mean? So I try my best not to idolize people. However, that being said, there are some incredible presenters and some incredible DJs out there. Donch DJ, someone that taught me how to DJ. I think he's so... like the way his mind works when he's DJing super mids, AAA, all of these incredible DJs. When it comes to Jeremiah Asiyama, incredible DJ. Presenting now, when I was really young, I loved Dermot O'Leary on X Factor. There wasn't like that many black women, but the black women that were on TV, I loved seeing them, especially like on CBBC, and they were young black British just like me. Yeah. I like seeing them on TV.
Are there enough black women in that right now?
There's a few, to be honest. Like especially presenter/personality wise, there are a few, and there are a lot of upcoming ones as well, which is what we like to see.
Oh, which is good. Any plans for Africa? Are you going anywhere there soon?
I would love. I don't know if it's this year.
Yeah.
God willing, next year, because this year I think I'm gonna go to Asia. I think. However, Africa, I would love to go. Oh my gosh, I would love to go. Yeah. I would love to. I've already been to Ghana, so I've done that. But I would love to go to Nigeria and Sierra Leone and Ghana and just do like a little trip.
Tour and all that.
Literally of all of them, and then maybe go to South Africa and then come back home.
Oh, cool. But home is UK.
Pardon?
Home is UK.
Home is the UK, yeah.
So do you consider yourself at this point in your life, in your career, are you successful?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I don't know. Do you reckon people sit down and think that?
And what do you think?
Babe, literally not a clue. I don't know if people like actually wake up and they're like, oh yeah, I'm fully like successful. But I think that I'm happy. Do you know what I mean, with where I am and what I'm doing.
Oh, cool. All right. I mean, I don't know if you think you are, but relatively, I think you've got to accept the fact that there's a measure of success. in there. And there's a lot of young people out there, especially in places like Africa, which is mentioned now, Sierra Leone, Nigeria, Ghana, Tanzania, and all these other places, who what you have achieved, the way you are now, is like dream to them. It's like it's massive. And what would you say to? So you're going to look at that camera, which is I think it's your camera. Right?
Okay.
So you're going to speak to them now. You're going to speak to your people. You're going to talk to this little girl like, especially let's just specialize it. Little girl like yourself.
Yeah.
That's in. I'm trying to think of a village, Ilesha or something, in somewhere deep in the streets of Nigeria or Ghana or any of these other places.
Yeah.
Who would dream to be on Kiss? Who would dream to perform in Cannes? Who would dream to be on the Mobos, to be on fucking. Here is here is Diary and all that. Who would dream to at least? I mean, what you achieve would be like a lifelong dream to them. How can they make that journey?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So honestly, I feel like faith is a big part of everything. I feel like don't ever try to downplay the dreams or whatever has been put into your heart that you want to do. Believe that you can do it. Believe that you can achieve it. Have that faith that you can, and always take a leap of faith, even if it sounds crazy to everybody else. If it's believable in your own heart and that feeling in your heart is so strong, just go ahead and do it. Like literally, just do it.
All right, that's it. We're gonna round up on this now. Thank you very much. Thank you so very much, Henrie. Really appreciate having you here.
Thank you.
I think it's been really enlightening and getting into your world. It's a bit of a special world. The DJing from a lady's perspective, and then the hosting and podcasting and all this kind of stuff. I think it's really essential that people begin to open more to fields, not just that if you want to do something, it feels really special to you, regardless of if someone is doing it or not. You really have to go for it, but you've gone for it, and you're making us proud as always. You are Nigerian, you're Sierra Leonean, you're British. We love all that. Thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate you on here, man.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hope you've had a nice time, and
thank you.
Yeah, inspired people as much as always. All right, it's Hero's Diary on another episode. Peace out.